Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections. And hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Reeves. Welcome to A-State Connections on ASU-TV. I'm an academic advisor at Arkansas State University, and what you saw in the first shot was our ASU-TV political set, as we're going to be hosting 3 political debates over the next 4 weeks. Very excited to be able to provide that as an opportunity. And local media outlets KASU, ASU-TV, KLEK, The Herald at A-State, and Red Wolf Radio will be helping us with that, as well as these gentlemen who are on the set for us today. Brandon Tabor is a news director at KASU, will be joining us as a panelist for 2 of those debates. And also instructor of creative media production, Dustin Sulivan, is assisting us as ASU-TV faculty advisor and associate producer for that as well. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today on this.
Good to be here. Thanks, John.
So I want to talk about the process of, as we're in the political season on that, how do you prepare for a debate like this? Dustin, kind of what goes into the process of all that?
Well, the first process is the concept, and I believe this started between, a group of people, leading with Mr. Galen Perkins, kind of started that process to where he said, hey, we could not only do this, but integrate it into a class to give students the opportunity to work on this from the ground up. So then the conversation started happening between him, myself, and others to say, hey, let's get this going and let's get all the student groups involved with it. And then, in getting our folks at KASU as a huge partner for us and the reach that they have and the connections they have with these candidates already, covering them on a 24/7 basis in their news department. So it's just working through that, then getting the contacts and information for all the candidates and inviting them to these debates, and then at that point going over the logistics, the rules, the regulations, and then start the process of building the set, getting all the technical pieces together. So it started probably over the summer.
Yeah, and I know you've had students helping out, you've had faculty, staff helping out. It truly is it's a collaborative effort with a lot of different areas.
Yeah, I mean, students, faculty, staff. Got to thank the people above us for the support that we have. Dr. Gina Hogue and Dr. Sharice Jones Branch,
sure,
for the support that they have given Mr. Perkins, his class, and the ASU TV staff, and myself, and the folks at KSU. And then it's great to have KLEK involved as well as a regional radio station, and Leganzi Kale. Having them involved just brings a whole other audience that we may not be reaching through the other outlets that we have.
Right, and I know, Brandon, you have very close ties with KLEK, because I know you've been on that. I think you still may be on that a little bit as well, and also KASU. Kind of tell us about some of the work that you're doing during the political season for KASU, and how you even plan to do coverage like this for KASU.
Prayer.
That's always good. That's a great soundbite. That's a fantastic soundbite.
Prayer. But in all seriousness, I mean, this is a very big political season, not just nationwide, but just here in the state of Arkansas. And there are a lot of moving parts with it. And so, it just takes, just kind of staying in touch with all the different news outlets, staying in touch with what the different candidates are doing on social media and the different press releases that they have out, and also just kind of staying in touch with all the different types of all of our other media partners as well, and just kind of seeing what they're doing and how they're talking to them and how these candidates are responding to them, and using this to basically kind of figure out what these candidates are about and try to figure out how to take all of this information and convey it to our audience.
Yeah, and one thing I know that you're not only doing this debate, but also you're representing us very well. You will be soon for the PBS debate that'll be taking place with AETN and Conway. So how do you prepare for, like question formations and those things? What kind of goes into that part of debate prep?
Well, one of the things that goes into it, it's something that I picked up being here while being a master's student here at A-State, which is, research. and a lot of people kind of get the misconception that, once you graduate, you don't have to do research anymore. But but the reality is that you do have to research. You do have to look into each of these candidates. I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to have a membership with PMJA, which is Public Media Journalists Association.
Yes.
And they had a workshop where they talked about ways in which we could look up different candidates and learn how they're spending their money, learn, how to fact check some of the statements that they make. So I will be trying to implement those and trying to find some questions that I could use to ask the candidates. Also, I'll be working with my colleague, Rebecca, in the newsroom. We'll be kind of working together. She's also going to be one of the moderators for the debate between Dan Sullivan and Erica Askeland.
Yeah.
She's going to take my place for that one. But yeah, we're going to also brainstorm as well. She's been very instrumental in helping me to keep an eye out on political things because she has that political science minor working for her. So
Which that helps.
Yes.
And we're talking about Rebecca Robinson, who
Yes.
is a very recent graduate here of A-State, kind of going through that. So she's doing a fantastic job. So
Yes.
y'all are working together on that, doing very well.
Oh yes, absolutely. I love the teamwork. I like how we just kind of just bounce ideas off of each other and just kind of just let those ideas flow. But yeah, that's what it's all about. It's a news team. We work together, and so us working together and trying to formulate all these questions and everything. I think that's what's going to help make a very spirited debate.
And prayer, too.
Yes,
Prayer
prayer.
always
Yes,
helps, and
absolutely.
all that.
Yes.
Prayer is always good. So, Dustin, I want to ask you about when you've got, about how many people will be involved in the debate? I'm like kind of running stuff behind the scenes. Do you know about how many?
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to have numerous camera operators and camera assistants on their positions. You're going to have audio technicians. You're going to have everybody in the control room, technical directors. People have to run clocks as well because these candidates need to know when their time's up.
Yeah.
And they'll need to have a visual of that and not just be told, similar like we see in other debates as well, where they're told, hey, here's your countdown. You'll see different colors come out as well, so it gets their attention. And then a lot of, technical support on the back end, myself, Mr. Perkins, Mr. Arquette, our broadcast support specialist, making sure that, everything's running smooth on the TV side, but we also do have to integrate the radio side as well, such as getting a signal of the audio to KASU, to KLEK, to Red Wolf Radio. So it has, you've got, 20, 30 plus people just working on this alone. And that doesn't mention everybody that for months now that have been meeting behind the scenes, pulling off the logistical aspects of these debates.
And one of the things that's interesting about this is, like, Brandon, when you go to the debate in Conway, which I've done a couple of times, and that the one thing about it is that it's taped. It's taped to live, basically, is what it is. And so people will have it later. This is live.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. So, and I know that has to bring an additional aspect. So what aspect does that bring when you're talking about live production as opposed to tape to live?
Well, you got to make sure that, everything from, live streaming to, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on our cable channel through Optimum, or again, all the radio stations, making sure the timing is synced up perfectly, that everybody gets, everybody's timing is synced up correctly. So right at the top of the hour, we're live with the show on all platforms.
Very good. So, well, let's talk about the debates themselves that'll be going on. Now, Brandon, which debate are you going to be on? You're going to be, which one was it again?
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them?
Two of the three.
Except for one. Two out of three.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to be at the first congressional district debate.
Okay.
And I'm also going to be at the mayoral debate here. And I'll also, as you mentioned, with the ASU, with the Arkansas PBS debate, I'll be doing that with the first congressional district as well.
All right, that's fantastic. And so just to kind of run things down about how this is going to be, the first debate will be next Thursday.
Correct.
It'll be live, 6 o'clock on ASU-TV. Yep. And so that will be the U.S. House race that'll be going on. The next one is going to be the following Thursday. And I don't have the calendar in front of me by way of specific dates as it is. But then the final one is going to be the four-way race, which is the following Thursday. And that's the four-way race between the Jonesboro mayoral candidates. Out of all of them, is there any debate that you're really kind of looking forward to? Is the mayoral one the one you're kind of looking forward to, or just all of them?
I think that's the one we're building to, honestly. The first two are fantastic, and I think they'll be great races. They'll have great conversations between the candidates, but those are one-on-one debates. We bring in a whole different aspect of four candidates on a stage, trying to corral them and get them to follow rules and procedures with the four of them. With two, I think it's a great, and I wouldn't even say it's not a practice run. I think it's just a great opportunity for these students to really get in touch with what a political debate looks like on the production side. And by the time we get to the, what I guess we'll call the big one in terms of numbers itself, the Jonesboro mayoral, I think they'll have it down pat, and I think you're going to see a quality of debate that you would see, elsewhere, such as, with Arkansas PBS or even at the national level as well. I think that's the goal, is to make sure these students, if they were to work on these further down the road in their profession, they'll have that experience from their time here at A-State.
Once again, it's all about gathering that experience that you need to have to be able to go out into the field. So we'll keep talking about that here in just a little bit. Brandon Tabor joining me, as well as Dustin Sulivan. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more of A-State Connections right after this.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
And welcome back to A-State Connections on ASU-TV. I'm Jonathan Reeves. We're continuing our conversation today about local media outlets KASU and ASU-TV. Joining us today, Brandon Tabor is the news director for KASU Public Radio. Dustin Sullivan's instructor of creative media production, as well as ASU-TV faculty advisor and associate producer of the political debates that are coming up here starting next week on ASU-TV. So thanks once again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
One thing I want to talk about, Dustin, we'll start off with you about that ASU-TV is live 24/7.
That is
kind of
correct.
tell us about that.
So we worked, thanks to, Tim Arquette, our broadcast support specialist, we worked, with some of the existing equipment we already have in terms of streaming, and basically took our YouTube feed, mimicked it with our cable feed that we're sending to Optimum and here on campus through Apogee, and decided we would have a broader reach of viewers if we had it live 24/7 on YouTube. So you can go there anytime, whatever is playing on the cable system, whether it be, previous sporting events that we've done or all of the shows. And it's all, and I say this over and over and over to people, it's all programming by the students, faculty, and staff of the School of Media and Journalism here at Arkansas State, except for the public access cartoons that we get on the Saturdays and Sundays, which is a great thing. And some of the old movies that we have, because we have those because we're a public access channel. So we have the ability to show some of those old cartoons and old movies that I think, people still enjoy to this day, seeing them. So it's just another way that we connect with people, and having those 24/7 on YouTube, again, just broadens the reach. And from the moment we started that this semester, we've seen an increase of about 30 to 40 subscribers to the YouTube channel just by doing that alone.
Fantastic. And so I know that right now is the time for people to prepare for being able to watch these, because once again, we said this is live.
Yes.
So how do people get ready for those, and what can they do to remind them about the upcoming debates?
If you find us on YouTube at ASU-TV Jonesboro, or actually now just ASU-TV, you can find us either way on the search. And those on the live events, you'll see that all the debates are already set up for live, telling you the dates and the times. All you have to do is set a notification for that, and if you have the YouTube app on your phone, tablet, or TV, you'll get a notification when those debates go live. And usually what we do is we'll start the live stream a little bit prior, just so we can populate people into the live streams, and then the event will go live itself. So big thing is setting those notifications on both the YouTube side, and you can also do that through Facebook as well. That way you know, hey, these debates are about to start. I need to tune in.
And also, one of the things that's interesting, Brandon, is that since it'll be live on 2 radio stations, and also 3 with Red Wolf Radio, don't let Zoe Mathis, the station manager of Red Wolf Radio, kind of beat me over the head over that. Although, so you've got 3 radio stations. You have ASU-TV. You've got the ASU-TV YouTube. We've got, at least 5 different places where people can either listen or they can view this. So that'll be interesting to have it there on the audio part of that, which you've got to have people running the board. You got to have people doing all that. So, Brandon, that's also another fun thing to be able to have for it being on radio as well for the audio part.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. When these debates are taking place, they're actually taking place, shameless plug, they're actually taking place during our fund drive. Both the first 2 debates, they will be taking place during a fund drive. So we will have some KASU staff that will be running the board as well. So it's a great opportunity for people to listen to all of this stuff. The power of radio, radio is still so important. I remember when the assassination attempt on President Trump happened, former President Trump happened, and we, through our affiliate with NPR, we were able to broadcast live that assassination attempt, the coverage of that, and we got a lot of feedback from people who were just on the road, tuning in and listening to this coverage and just staying with us. And so I'm glad that we're able to work with ASU-TV to bring another service to get people to, to stay informed and to know what's going on around the community.
That's a good point. I'm glad. Dustin, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a shameless plug at all. What KSU does for the School of Media and Journalism, does for Arkansas State University, it's a fantastic, partnership. It's a fantastic avenue. Our students get the opportunity to do things with KSU, and I think it just opens the door. And shameless plug or not, the fact that we're doing something local during their fund drive, you can't ask for a better connection there. Honestly, it's local coverage using students and faculty and staff of School of Media and Journalism as a whole, all tied to the fact that we're going to make sure that KSU can stay on the air and provide the coverage and the programming that their audience deserves and loves.
Because one of the things about KASU, and just like with ASU-TV as well, is that you could listen to, very honestly, you could listen to NPR off their app. You can listen to NPR anywhere.
Exactly.
But what makes KASU, what makes ASU-TV different, and KLAK and all these others, is that it's the original local programming. It's the localism that's brought into that. And so being able to have, whether it's local debates or, as you said, about that coverage, and also not just that, but there's Senate hearings. If there are other hearings that are going on that are of national significance and other live events and those things, that's what KASU is going to do. ASU-TV is out. I remember that ASU-TV did a great job with the live feed of the solar eclipse, having kids out there. It was so much fun.
So much fun.
But and there's talk about more of these things, being able to get students involved in more of this to be able to do that. So that's really important. As we wrap this up, once again, people can schedule the notifications and get ready for that. But they got to subscribe. You have to subscribe.
Oh, absolutely. Go and subscribe. Absolutely.
And how do people find KASU by way of not just on 91.9 FM? And I'm glad to have that plug there for KASU because I love that station. But where else can people find KASU?
Well, they can also find us online at kasu.org. We also have a free mobile app, which is available in the Google Play and the Apple App Store. Just search for KASU, and you can download it for free. We're also, with us being an NPR member station, a lot of our stream and our programming can also be found on the NPR app as well as on npr.org. So we're available that way as well. And also, just to kind of add for my friend Legansy, because I do, as you say,
Yes.
I do work, I do volunteer with a KLEK as well. They're available at 102.5 FM. Also, he has a stream as well that's available through Live 365. And he also has an app as well that you can download.
You know, and in his what he's doing by way of bringing, and as you accurately said, maybe voices that we would never be able to reach, people we would never be able to reach. That's what he's doing with that, and to bring it all together is just a wonderful partnership because he's really building a great service. He's been doing that for years, but he keeps adding stations and doing other things. How important is that for the community, Jonesboro as a whole, to be able to have that kind of service that he's bringing, that Legansy's bringing through KLEK?
I mean, it is super powerful. It is very vital. It's very important. I mean, it's the power of not just public radio, but just public media. And that is the beauty of not just what he's doing, but just what we're all doing with this debate. It allows everybody to, have a chance to get access to information that, that some other organizations might have behind a paywall or anything like that. This gives people a chance to have access to free information that should be available to them at any time.
Yeah.
And also, it allows people to hear different perspectives, too. That's another great thing about all of this, is that it allows people to hear different perspectives, different viewpoints, and to gain a little bit of understanding from one another. And that's the power of all of this. And just real quick, I just wanted to mention, I love what ASU-TV has on has in programming. I think one day I was walking by the TV and I saw that y'all had Popeye on.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. I was like, when did y'all get Popeye?
You're going to go from Popeye to Red Wolf Roundtable to a documentary done by students all back to back to
To
back.
ASU State Connections and ASU Tonight, and then go back to Popeye again.
I think we really quickly need to mention having the Herald involved as well as key to the School of Media and Journalism, and having their editor-in-chief be a moderator as well, I believe. Asking questions. I think we should still be very excited for what the Herald can provide students and people in the community. So, making sure you're reading, the Herald, and also, in person, but also reading online as well. I think their coverage should be really great for that as well.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much. And that'll do it for this edition of A-State Connections. I want to thank Brandon Tabor, also Dustin Sulivan, for joining me here today. Also want to thank Instructor of Creative Media Production, Galen Perkins, and his amazing students in Video Production 1, who are right now behind the scenes running the show, doing a great job. Also thanks to Broadcast Engineer Timmy Arquette and Graduate Assistant Sujita Karki for their help on the show today. Thanks for joining us, and so long, everyone. Have a great day.